Again, my name is Tim Varma. I've been with WOE now for a little over a year and a half. I've been in the cloud infrastructure industry since 2000. And so I came to WOE primarily because what they were doing from an infrastructure security compliance perspective. When I first started talking to CEO Mark, it was about the infrastructure and how it was built with compliance in mind. Many of the other cloud companies out there have put in compliance and security as a afterthought. And so when you do that, they've got to kind of put things together, piecemeal things, and you don't have a very seamless environment. But I have been, very impressed from day one with the way that it was built with compliance and security in mind, and it's in the DNA. So security, as Michael said, the threats, we see them every day. Whether it's Yahoo or Dropbox or whoever, nobody is literally safe anymore. Your data is not safe. So unless you have a provider that is going to ensure security and compliance, and when you pair the two together, you have security, great. You have compliance. Compliance, you need that by industry. Whether the industries we're focusing on, ISO covers everything. But then we got PCI for e-commerce, and then we have HIPAA for healthcare. So we have security, but then you got the compliance standards that go with it. The security elements, and I'll talk about it, need to match each of the controls for compliance. So we offer that, and we have that, and very few companies in the cloud actually can claim that. In addition to that, we have best-in-class technology. Another great reason why I came here. There are no corners cut with the technology and the infrastructure that we put in place, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Also, from a data center perspective, most cloud companies aren't just pure cloud companies. They're also data center companies. So when it comes to focus, we focus only on the cloud infrastructure. We're going to leave the data center and the physical security and the operational overhead of redundancy, power, connectivity, et cetera. We're going to leave that up to the data center providers. And this allows us to only go into the best data centers in the US. We'll talk about a little bit more about that. And overall, this is a pure enterprise platform. And we've got a slide that'll show how we can make that claim. Did this jump way too far ahead, Doug?
Great time for questions as well out there. What are you guys selling today? What's selling?
So what does it cost?
So what we're selling today, what we're focusing on are, again, the verticals with e-commerce and healthcare. So with that, we're selling what we call multi-tenant secure cloud. We also have private cloud. So for companies that have more stringent requirements and need to really privatize their data, they can buy private cloud. Or we can do a mix. We can mix the multi-tenant environment with the private cloud. Or we can mix on our on-prem, customers on-prem with our premise. So we've got solutions for all of that. So as far as costs go, that's a very broad question because you could start with a single virtual machine, for under a couple $100, or you can go with replacing entire enterprise infrastructure for tens of thousands of dollars. So again, it's a very broad question.
But I think the key to the cost question is security is not an added layer right now. It's an added layer, but not an added cost. Normally, you would find an extraordinary bolt-on cost to what that would bring to a cloud platform, and that is not translated right now within the cost-based model, right? I think over time, as the costs increase, the expectation is that might be more of an expensive bolt-on, and I'll let you kind of further that statement.
Yeah, and the other part of that piece is operational cost versus capital cost. So this eliminates the capital cost for your customers. They don't have to keep rebuying equipment. They don't have to have as much. I'm not going to say all, as much of the on-site skill sets. All the infrastructure that comes with managing your own data center, you can now offload that. You still need the technical aptitude to run applications and to run their environments. But you got cost savings there from people, from data centers. You eliminate all that, and now you've got a standardized monthly bill versus fluctuating costs, and then you've got capital costs for new equipment, or you've got maintenance costs that you now need to pay every year for all the equipment that you have.
First, a reintroduction to you guys. I don't know how many of you are going to be at the Hard Rock event in a couple of weeks, but we're gonna go deeper into who we are and really the personas of the folks. You guys, this could get technical. We don't want you to get that. You have the customers that absolutely want your solution.
Okay.
So we're gonna help you identify who those customers are, and then we're gonna do all the heavy lifting, educating them on what makes us different in the marketplace. But I can tell you right now, with the security layer that we have, we are the only company offering this type of service. The end user customer, people that you do business with, are going to flip out once they actually understand the security piece of this. I mean, we did an analyst launch 2 weeks ago in Vegas with 451 Research, and I was amazed. I was there.
All right. So as we mentioned before, only enterprise-grade technology. So the logos you see up here, if Gartner covers that industry, these are all Gartner MQ companies, starting with Palo Alto, and we'll get much deeper into that. But Palo Alto is the world leader in intrusion prevention. All the way through our entire stack, all you'll see is enterprise logos. So getting a little deeper into our security platform, it's great to be able to talk about, hey, we're a secure platform. Well, it's the meat behind the statement. And so what we have is what we call our 7 layers of security. So it starts with physical security. So we mentioned we're only in Tier 4 data centers. Well, Tier 4 data centers only come with the highest level of security from physical access, not only into the building, but up to where the actual equipment is. So we have that easily checked off. Network protection. So the ingress point into our environment, our cloud environment, is all protected by Palo Alto Networks. No other cloud company can claim that level of security at the perimeter. Most cloud companies, if not all, have just simple routers at the edge, which are just passing traffic, maybe some ACLs blocking countries that have been blocked by the DOJ. But we have Palo Alto at our edge to protect all of our customers and our infrastructure. Going a step below, we've got a secure multi-tenant architecture. So I mentioned before, we've got both multi-tenant and private cloud environments. Each of those environments through the network layer are all segmented off by technologies within the Cisco UCS platform called VXLANs. So every tenant is fully secure from each other as well. And then when you look down a layer deeper into each individual customer that we have, every customer has a firewall built into their solution. No customer can come to WOA without a firewall in place. It's just not possible. We will never allow that. No other cloud company is going to be able to claim that either. Then at the host base, we've got firewalls that are in place for every single virtual machine or server, if you will. And then we also layer on antivirus services and then backup and replication. So we have backup services within a data center, or you can replicate out to other data centers. So you have the peace of mind that if anything were to happen to a single data center, your data is secure in every other data center. And these layers of security is not just for one data center, it's the same blueprint that we have for each of our data centers. Any questions?
Let me ask you something. The antivirus, do you provide antivirus on site for the customer?
Not to the site, but
To the data center?
just to the infrastructure that we have.
But our tier 1 products that we've chosen can be, usually the customers we deal with are utilizing the same products that we're utilizing, Zertos and the other ones, right? They're a staple within the industry right now. So all we would do is share configurations, and they would have, but the responsibility sits on their side with that.
So the other thing that we can do, the other tools that we put in place for security, we can commingle, if you will. So if there's things like log management, we can put customer data into our log management systems. Our monitoring systems that we have to monitor our environments, we could deploy agents on customer premise as well, so that a customer would have a single pane of glass to see what their cloud environment monitoring was looking like as well as their on-premise monitoring. So one view so that they can see everything that's going on in their environment. But that was going a little deeper, but great question. So we talked about the data centers prior, but this is the value of the data center. So everything is fully redundant. So from power, HVAC, you name it, everything is fully redundant. Not to mention from diesel generators, supply lines, supply chain for fuel, everything is completely redundant and in place, as well as dual grids. Then in addition to that, there's security zones with biometric access controls. Everything is fully monitored and on camera. We talked about cooling, and then we talked about electric as well. But again, every one of our data centers is Tier 4. Cloud companies that have their own data centers rarely can, if ever, can claim that they're Tier 4. So we're only in the best data centers. This slide is about our infrastructure. Again, we've got the logos here, VMware, Cisco, and NetApp. VMware is our hypervisor, or it's our virtualization platform, the world leader in virtualization. Cisco is our server infrastructure. You may have heard of the UCS platform. It's also the #1 blade server and fabric in the world. And then NetApp as well is from a data storage management. In addition to NetApp, we also have introduced a new next generation storage technology. It's based all on SSD or flash, and that company is called Tintri. And they are growing rapidly. Doug, who comes from a storage background, can also attest to that. And the next generation piece of storage is there's no more spinning disk. So no more spinning disk means less failure rates, faster performance. Again, going back to our enterprise DNA. We've talked about compliance and certifications. As Doug mentioned, we've had ISO 27001 for several years. We'll be recertifying again in November. But in addition to ISO, we have achieved PCI 3.1 and HIPAA very recently, as Doug mentioned. So it's one thing to offer these certifications, but let me kind of explain a little bit about what these certifications mean. So we have the certifications as a service provider, which means to a customer that you can bring your solution and within the environment that you're placing your solution, it's going to be in a compliant solution. Does that make the customer fully compliant? It doesn't. However, with this compliance, that means as we interact with our customers and their solutions, whether it's from how we manage their environments, how we back them up, how we monitor them, all of that is fully compliant. But in addition to that, we offer tools and services that can meet every single control for each of those compliances. Because we had to do it ourselves, we're just going to leverage that and provide those same tools and services to our customers. So if a customer needs to go through an audit, we're right there sitting right next to them and say, hey, we're going to go through this audit with you, with our auditors, so that they have a very streamlined approach. Generally, when these customers go through audits, it's just gut-wrenching, horrible experiences, a lot of crosstalk, a lot of finger pointing, and then a lot more expense coming out at the other end because of fines. We're going to be right there working with our customers and your customers through the entire audit process. And then the security that matters. So we touched upon this with the 7 layers, but it goes beyond just the 7 layers, because with compliance, the level of security goes much deeper. It goes from physical security we mentioned, application security. So how do we know that a customer's actual application, homegrown application, is secure? How do we know it can't be penetrated? We have tools in place that can help with that. The network security we talked about. Server security, again, with a host-based firewalls. And so we, at every layer within a customer solution, have security elements in place. And each of these backs up the compliance claims. Oops, I went one too fast, sorry. And then to wrap around all of the secure, compliant environment that we have is our support. So I think this is also a key differentiator for WOE. customers can go to Amazon, they can go to Azure with Microsoft. But at the end of the day, are those giant commodity clouds going to be there hand holding a customer? Our customers don't want to worry about the infrastructure. As a matter of fact, they not only want to worry about their operating systems, and it's going further and further up the stack every day, up to the point where, you know, with our customers, we're helping them out at the application layer or finding solutions to help them with the application. So and I've been in the industry a long time. Usually it's like, oh, this is your problem, go figure it out. We don't work that way with our customers. We're very intimate into our customers' business, and understanding what applications are running, how they're running them, how they're impacting their bottom line. So if they see performance issues, we're going to help pinpoint where those performance issues are. So we're going to go the next step with that, and we're available 24/7, 365, both from a support perspective and from a network operations center perspective. And our staff is highly skilled. We only have industry veterans. We only hire people that have the skill sets necessary to support our customers. We only hire the people that want to work with our customers. So we're very specific about that as well. And then we've got industry-leading SLAs as well, both from a network perspective. Each of our services we offer has its own individual SLA as well. So this is a summary slide basically showing you guys what the benefits are from the WOE Cloud. So I'm not going to go over these individually, but we can open up for questions.
The disaster recovery, is that based on storage or is based on storage? How does that?
So we've got multiple disaster recovery solutions. It depends on what your recovery time objective or recovery point objectives are. So we could do backups locally, so basically, you know, storage. We can replicate that storage. Or we've also got a tool called Zerto where we can actually replicate your entire environment, where you could actually be up and running in another data center within a minute. There you go.
And chances are Zerto is being utilized in other cloud platforms and by your customers who are VMware shops, right? This has been one of the best software stacks that we've seen within this space. And Platespin existed years and years and years ago, so it's been a long time that this tried and true kind of variable is out there. So we're not disrupting operational procedures of an organization existing, or shouldn't be. It should be just literally a simplified, you know, migration.
Okay.
Real quick question
Sure.
for you. And it may seem remedial to a few people, but I just want to hear your interpretation of giving examples of companies that would want to have secure data destruction.
Okay. So secure data destruction is the question. This is actually part of compliance. Part of PCI and part of HIPAA is not only data encryption or, you know, making sure data is secure in transit and in rest. It's also, there's a requirement for what's your destruction policy. So we have a destruction policy, you know, that meets compliance. But ultimately, the best way to destroy data is to encrypt it. Once it's encrypted, you throw away the keys. Once you throw the keys, it's not accessible. So
Example, I guess what I'm trying to ask in detail is, do you offer a certification of the client that yes, the data has been destroyed, or is there just
we will
related to the level that it
yeah
is?
we will absolutely, you know, sign an affidavit saying that the data has been destroyed, and then we'll tell them the methodology used that meets compliance. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
For the rest of the room, data destruction it's kind of a confusing topic, right? Well, it is for most organizations out there, but you would go to the DoD's website and look at what they recommend. That is what we follow. So I know you know that. I was just trying to fill in the rest of the organizations or the rest of the folks that were there. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the threat observation platform, but before I actually go into the demonstration of the platform, I want to show you what the actual dashboard looked like, because you know, all of our customers obviously store their mission critical data and applications in our secure cloud. This is how they would access the threat observation platform. So this is a single pane of glass basically. This is our dashboard. So we can do numerous things here. We can open up tickets, you know, with our NOC, our network operating center. Real simple to do so. You click on new ticket. You let us know what the problem is. You answer a couple questions. We know then the severity level of that issue that you may be having, or you just need some knowledge transfer, whatever it may be. You can also access our knowledge base because we have a lot of customers that have gone through some of the speed bumps of different things. We've got numerous information out there around our knowledge base. So here I've got 56 how-to articles on different things. Billing is pretty slick too. Your customers would be able to pay their bills directly online. They can add credit cards. They can add checking accounts. They can add. They can get PDFs and invoices. Everything. It's a one-stop shop, right? It's a single pane of glass to gain access to their data, the applications that lives in our private secure cloud, completely separated from the other customers that are in our cloud. That's most important. We're very big on security, and even though this is a public offering, all of this is completely isolated from everything else that's contained within our Tier 4 data centers. So let me jump back over to the threat observation platform. We have been working on this for 18 months. We filed for our patent last month. So we put a lot of time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into this. Actually, not myself, but a lot of the guys that work on the support team. So they've been doing this, and this has been the success of our solution here. And it's really a unique differentiator. Like Mike and Tim have mentioned, there is no one else in the space that is offering this today, where it's baked in. This is included in our offering at no additional charge. And this is a proprietary solution, so this is our own stuff, right? We launched it last month, and we've had tremendous success and are continuing to do so. So what we do here, if we kind of take a look at the top, actually, I don't know if you saw that coming in, but actually a threat just came in just a second ago. You saw the screen light up. So what do? Is I can just kind of hover over, let's hover over India right now, and I'm looking at all threats that have come in over the last 24 hours. So our platform, where the data and applications reside, we have intrusion detection. We're picking up the threats as they come in, and then we're also preventing them. So we're intrusion detection and intrusion prevention. So if I take a look at India, what's coming in over the last 24 hours, we provide a great level of detail of what's actually taking place. So here at 10:49 this morning, the timestamp shows a threat was attempted to come in, and then it was attempted to come in to where it originated from, and then where it was, which one of our data centers where the threat was attempted. Then we always give a very good description of the threat type, and then the severity level. We use a DEFCON or NORAD scale for that type of threat, and then always we're going to block that obviously. So what can be done is I can change the time frame from 24 to 48 to 72 hours. I can actually even go back in days, 7, 30, or 90. So this is really good information. So if I wanted to, let's say, switch out, if you notice my 24 hours, I've had over 3,000 threats that were detected and blocked. It takes a little bit to fetch all this data, obviously, because now I'm going back and adding an additional 6 days. But when I do that, you'll see that the numbers down here will increase considerably. So once all that pops up, we'll show you. Tim did mention that we are in 3 data centers, and obviously one is down here at the SuperNAP in Miami at Verizon. We're also in Vegas, and then in Ashland, Virginia at Equinix. So what that does is it offers our customers, your customers, bi-coastal redundancy. So if in the event Hurricane Andrew or Hurricane Matthew comes up the coast and wipes out the entire East Coast, which it kind of did, we can protect customers' data and applications because everything is living over here in the SuperNAP in Vegas, or it could be living in Miami, and we have those tools that are necessary to move workloads from one data center to another. So again, we're not in a strip mall with Kevlar on the windows. We're in Tier 4 data centers to protect the most important mission-critical data and applications for your customers. So if I want to go in and take a look at the United States, I can do that too. I can see all I have to do is we'll double click on the US, and then it will show me every threat that has come in over the last 7 days here. So I can go ahead and scroll down. I know the timestamp, I know where it originated from, and all of this, keep in mind, is a visibility platform. There is nothing for the customer to do. It's like an insurance policy. They know that they are protected. Any attempts that come in, we block immediately, and then we show them that. There is no other solution out there in the market today that does that. So it will give you all that information. Here was a RDP, or a brute force attempt that was made. Severity level was high. We went ahead and blocked that. If I wanted to go ahead and take a look at all threats globally that have occurred over the last 7 days, I have that ability too. So that will list everything here. And you've noticed that there's a little flag here that will show where that originated from. Very slick stuff. Say you have to adhere to compliance. Maybe you have an auditor coming in, something to that effect. The CISO within the organization or the president within the organization wants to know what's actually going on. They're not going to be looking at this on a daily basis, but they want to know. I click email this report, and then what's going to come up is a spreadsheet of what was just displayed on the monitor there, and then I have this output that I can send to them. Additionally, what we send out to our customers as well is a weekly. So this is something that comes in. It's a little bit nicer interface, and it will give you all that information. So again, the IT folks don't have to go out to the threat observation platform on a regular basis to see what's going on. We'll send it to them, but rest assured they know that they're protected from any malicious threats that are coming in from countries all over the world. We block, there's 7, which is China, Russia, South Korea. If your customers notice that they have a lot of attacks and attempts coming in from Chile, we'll say, and they don't do any business with that, we can actually set up a rule and block all traffic, any type of attempt that is made, we can block it altogether. So we open it up in the beginning, minus those 7 that we block automatically. So we have a lot of flexibility with the platform as well. So again, we're providing intrusion detection, intrusion prevention, and think about it too. This is one throat to choke. We provide best of breed infrastructure as a service. Cisco, VMware, NetApp, TinTree. These are things that your customers are buying on a regular basis. Are they buying it from you guys? Possibly not. But this is another revenue stream where you hand it over and allow us, everything else is gone as a service. So hand that over to us. They want to get out of the server business. I've worked for VMware, Citrix, Pure Storage, and Zerto. They want to get out of buying physical stuff. They want everything as a service, and this is just something that is so different from everyone because of this security layer. So very unique opportunity, I think, for everybody here. I think I've covered pretty much everything.
If
What
there
I
was
missed,
something
guys?
today that made you say, well, please hit us up on Twitter, and would you please just let us know, because this is the point of our launch. And we have a lot of polls back at the office of how things are going to be going and trending, and we had a feeling, this group here, that we were going to make pretty much absolutely everybody in the room say, well. So really looking for kind of that result, if you don't mind. It's our hashtag #WoCloud. That simple. Fair enough?
Yeah, the one spot I skipped over is just the top threats. So these are the things that occur most frequently. These are the things that are most common. So these are the top threats that are coming in over the last 7 days. Sources, looks like the Netherlands has been the biggest culprit here with over 1,000 attempts into one of the data centers where the customer's that data and application resides, right? So at a snapshot, at a glance, single pane of glass, one place to go to display all of this information. So I will take a break and
Can you give me an example of a customer?
a customer.
A customer that would use you?
So anyone, e-commerce would be a great customer. Healthcare would be a great customer, obviously because of PCI and HIPAA. We work with realty companies down here. We work with property management companies down here. So we have existing customers. We go across all market because everyone needs storage and compute, and they all are worried about security. So I wouldn't say we are specific for one vertical market. We're more horizontal. I'll let Mike kind of add on to that.
Yeah, if you look at this, a lot of our hedge funds, a lot of the financial verticals that have been out there, we've dealt with a lot of struggle in which provider is going to be the right cloud provider, right? And a lot of times it becomes a Rackspace or somebody else with the highest level of security that's out there. And so it's financial vertical, healthcare industry, hands down, all the lab centers that are out there, all these labs, medical labs and other ones, we've had to duck a lot of these deals because we haven't had any of these layers of compliance. Any one of the building owners, all of them, the Empire State Building is 100% IoT. Every window is a solar panel, every light switch is literally on that, right? So as these buildings grow, new construction, the video capabilities around that construction for safety characteristics, all of this require compliance, all of it. And without it, they're not going to buy into the solution. You're not having to go to a provider and ask them to build this into what they have today. You're going to a provider who has it already built in. It saves your sales cycle, I guarantee, by 3 to 6 months on a lot of these engagements. So, to answer your question, there's a large variety of folks, and especially within the IoT arena, if you look at it, you have to process a lot of data quickly. We're offering high-end hardware, CPU, ticks, tocks, all the way through, right? Memory, hard drive was spoken about earlier, so you get the top peak performance plus the security at a price seriously consumable and well below a lot of the other competitors, yet still a little bit higher than cheaper ones that you'll end up finding out there. So,
And we're working with TCG to get the personas of the folks, so we can help you out. Because I know what everybody's spending, saying, well, who buys this? What do they look like? What types of organizations? More training to come on that. We wanted to get you guys just the initial interest that, you know, you're really one of the first people that's seeing this. We've only had this launch for a couple of weeks. So, but the large enterprises, quite honestly, you know, the guys, you know, the Wells Fargos, the big guys, they've got this. They've got this already because they've got the money to build this. It's the small to medium getting into the lower tier of the enterprise. They can't afford this. So being able to host this in the cloud, everyone's looking at it, but no one actually, the security layer, I mean, you just think that if you go to Microsoft, the word Microsoft, you know, for, $1,500 a month, I'm secure. But they don't give you any visibility on how secure you are. You know, they're gonna give you some SLA and say that you're secure. We're actually putting this in your hands so that you can see your own information real time in your own organization.
Yeah, and to add on to what Jack said, I mean, the SMB in the mid-market is a sweet spot because just a Palo Alto alone, you know, they're best of breed, market leader, quadrant, top right? You know, if you start with just their basic box, you're looking at about $200K to get that level of security. We've made those investments already and added those around the perimeter of our infrastructure as a service, which is again best of breed VMware, Cisco, and NetApp and Tintri. So customers don't have to make those huge capital expenditures, have those big costs, do all that research. We've done all this. This is reference architecture, validated designs that we've handpicked and selected, and now can offer to them at a reasonable monthly or annual expense and cost. So I would say SMB and mid-market, along with the verticals, right? But the SMB and mid-market this is perfect because they just don't have the expertise, they don't have the manpower. So we do all that heavy lifting for them by way of you. We do it together. So that's definitely a sweet spot. Thanks for the question, by the way.
what's the smallest number of seats?
So we don't go by seats. We're looking at virtual CPUs, how many boxes, how many virtual machines. So it wouldn't be from a per user perspective. It would be, we could go as small as, I've quoted out just single servers, with 500 gig of storage, CPU and RAM, and serve that up to the customer. So we can go as small as one. We've got customers that have hundreds of virtual machines in our data centers. So there is no small.
And the great news is once you actually introduce us into a customer, that you can start small. I mean, let's face it, they're either using a provider today, they're either on-prem or they want to move to the cloud. If they're already in the cloud and they're happy with their provider, that's fine. Their organization's probably growing. And let's say they just want to, it's a new application that they want to host with us. This is very sticky. Once we get in and show them, especially compared to whoever they're using today, what makes us different, then we'll help them with a migration path to eventually get all of the other applications that they're hosting with someone else and bring it onto our cloud. So it's a crawl, walk, run strategy.
You guys have a tool for like physical to virtual? Like let's say you have a client that has a local server, he wants to switch to the cloud, you guys have a tool that will transform that physical to virtual?
Yeah, we do. And we work with other organizations too that from a third-party perspective that can help with the migration. So the P2V, the V2V, and then just moving workloads in general as well. So we've got numerous things, and then our own guys can do that internally.
Yeah, and on that, the physical to virtual tools, they do exist, but there's no guarantee. And then with customers on-prem servers, there's a lot of history with those servers, a lot of versions, there's a lot of application versions, then there are patch levels. All of this, there's no tool that can understand all that and put it in a nice, clean bow and put it in the cloud. So that's where the migration partners come in that really dig into applications and how everything is impacted and do those migrations.
And we'll offer assessments too. So if they want to see if their physical or virtual machines are a good candidate we'll actually do up to 5 VMs through our partner to see if they're a good candidate to do a free assessment. So no cost, no risk to the customer to do that. Thank you for the question. Any others? I know everybody's hungry, so I am as well. So thanks everyone for your time. Thanks rest of the team here. Appreciate it.